Congressman Jason Smith, the chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, joins me now. Congressman, you hold the purse strings. This new funding request comes on top of $105 billion for Ukraine and Israel. Can we afford it all?
Stuart, absolutely not. We, just in the last 10 days, have received over $170 billion in supplemental spending requests from the White House. The White House agreed to spending numbers back in May whenever they signed the Fiscal Responsibility Act. They need to live up to them. Think about this. Out of all the money that they've requested in the last 10 days, less than 10% of that funding actually goes towards our greatest ally in the Middle East, Israel. The rest is a lot of other Ukraine spending and just domestic policies that the administration's trying to supplement.
Can you knock that out, Mr. Chairman?
We control the House of Representatives, and funding has to pass through both bodies, the House and the Senate. Of course, there's going to be a lot of conversation, but I sure hope that we can pass funding for Israel separated from funding for Ukraine.
What is job one for the new speaker?
Job one is moving forward with the looming appropriation showdown, which we know funding for the country is until November 17th. We have an appropriations bill on the floor today, the energy and water appropriations. We got several more that need to move forward and then go with the United States Senate to conference. So that is what's looming first. But we also need to push this administration to make sure that we have effective policy that addresses the crisis at the southern border.
Can you tell us which spending would be cut, apart from money for Ukraine maybe and some other domestic programs, but in the bigger picture, what are you going to cut? Because that will be politically very sensitive.
That's exactly what I asked the White House. They're proposing $175 billion of new spending, but where are you going to cut that money? Or do you just want to take another loan from the Chinese, which is absolutely not what the American people want? We saw in the first 2 years of one-power Democrat control of Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Joe Biden spend more than $10 trillion of new spending. That is an increased inflation going up 17.9% since Joe Biden's taken the oath of office. We have to stop the faucet of spending.
The Democrats will want to raise taxes to pay for this new spending. Can you knock that out?
Stuart, that's exactly what they want to try to do. In fact, they are so excited that in the year 2025, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act provisions will expire that will bring forward more than a $3 trillion tax increase on all Americans. Guess what? Tax policy starts in the House Ways and Means Committee. We're not going to be moving legislation that this administration is trying to push to raise taxes on working class Americans.
You can do this if you retain loyalty and unity within the GOP in the House. You've got to have the unity.
You have to stay as a majority. That's why I was extremely glad to see yesterday Speaker Johnson got every member of the House Republican Conference to vote for him on the House floor to unify all of us so we can get down to business and take care of the issues that all Americans are facing right now, Stuart.
Congressman Jason Smith, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Come back soon. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.